Hello everybody, I'm Andy Lagopus.
I'm PinkStar.
And welcome to another episode of It's Called a Podcast, Sweetheart.
Where we talk everything Zootopia. First of all, happy 2026, everybody!
Yay, Happy New Year! Or should I say, Happy Zoo Year? Huh?
Nice.
And today we have a very special guest. Welcome to the stage, AC Racebest.
Hello!
It has been a hot minute since you've been with us.
It's been a hot minute since we've had some new content. So yeah, I've been good. I've been busy with Zootopia 2 in different ways, but it's good.
Mm-hmm.
It's good. It's been a great holiday season. I've it obviously has been incredibly enhanced with the release of Zootopia 2 back in Thanksgiving, and it's been fun with it ever. It's been a month now, and it's been great.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Nice to have you here on the podcast, Race. Thank you so much for being here. Mm-hmm. And well, to talk a little bit of news, we had to mention that currently, as of right now, Zootopia 2 has already collected around $1.3 billion. Exactly. $1.3 billion.
Which is more than the original Frozen.
Very interesting about that. And most of it is international. Most of it. Which is no surprise, really, because Asia's audience loves... China, Japan, South Korea. Everybody's loving Zootopia.
They've always gotten the best merch, and now we're finally getting it over here, too.
Finally!
Though we'll talk about that a little bit in a bit. First, have to remember, this is all supported by our Patreon, so patreon.com/ZNN. $5 a month gets you access to join our live studio audience, which is currently here as we are recording, and listening to all of our goofs and technical problems and difficulties, and just making fools of ourselves. So, if you want to see any of that, $5 a month, patreon.com. Also, to celebrate the new year, we are doing a giveaway.
Woohoo! And you will say, what kind of a giveaway? Well, if you are aware of our new episodes here on YouTube and on Spotify, well, this special episode was not added on Spotify, but still, follow us over there. And last month, there was an unboxing video. And
yep, we got to take a look at my massive package.
Not that package, not that one. Not that one.
Okay. It was huge.
Well, yeah. Well, the package from Miniso.
Yes, I was sent a big box from Miniso, and one of the things it had was an extra set of their, what did they call it? The vinyl plush figures, pendant figures of the Zootopia characters. So, we will have 6 prizes that will be going to various people. So, we will be saying more about the rules as we figure it out. I think we might re-edit like a little section where I give a quick announcement about it, but as of the moment, we don't have that yet, so hopefully we'll have that by the time the episode goes live.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out, but for the gist of it, we're giving away some free Zootopia merch. Yay!
Yay!
This will be fun.
Never enough Zootopia merch.
Never. Exactly. And there will be more on the way.
Buy everything.
That's right.
There'll be more merch on the way because Zootopia's 10th anniversary, it's coming up close as well.
Oh, yes. It's been 10 years. Wow.
Can't believe it.
I know, right? So, to go over some of the news of this past month, just to kind of catch up, We have a lot of news and videos about Zootopia 2. There was the Zootopia 2 recap animation. There was a whole bunch of interviews with the directors and
voice cast.
Everything going on. The voice cast, yeah. Jared Bush did a few Q&As.
We have Zootopia on the video game Disney Speedstorm, which is a racing game, kind of like Mario Kart. And, you can get Judy, Nick, and Flash.
Mm-hmm.
I just downloaded it. I'm prepped and ready to go.
I'm really
surprised
fun.
You're not already a fan of that game.
I was holding out for my Zootopia, and it has arrived. So,
well,
now I need Fortnite to get on it. Come on.
What I'm waiting
I would
for,
love that. Like, I would have to play Fortnite.
What I'm waiting for is for Zootopia to be added on Disney Dreamlight Valley.
Do it all.
Too.
Do it all. Kingdom Hearts.
Everything.
Come on.
Just put them everywhere.
Kingdom Hearts 2, yes, but...
Kingdom Hearts 4.
Yeah, but it will be very, very far away from where we are currently.
Yep. Yeah. But a bunch of the story artists have also been posting their storyboards, and the full screenplay is now available to read, which is full of fun little tidbits that you might not have picked up on had you been... that don't necessarily translate one-to-one. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, and if you miss any of this, well, you can go ahead and check it out on our page, ZootopiaNewsNetworks.com.
Exactly. So, let's get into today's topic, Zootopia 2.
Yay! Finally, we can get to talk about the movie.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh, you guys have waited.
Yeah,
I know.
we wanted to give the benefit to the audience to go and watch the movie themselves if they hadn't by now.
Or go watch it 50 times if they hadn't by then.
Who would do that?
I know, right? What are you on now, Brace? As of time of recording?
I am on 46. I've seen it 46 times.
Wow.
Last time was this morning. I went to an 11 o'clock showing. And when we're done with this recording, I will be going for my evening portion of watching Zootopia 2. So I will be at 47 by the end of the night.
And by the time the episode comes out, you'll be well over 50.
Probably. I didn't see this coming, but here I am.
Yeah, so we figured we'd bring an expert onto the show.
Oh, yeah. I've seen it a few times, so maybe I've got some expertise to share.
Yeah, I'm only at 5 so far. I know, I need to pump those numbers up.
5, Andy, come on, man.
Hey, I have this thing called a job.
I do too, Andy.
Yours is seasonal. Yours is seasonal. And
I beg your pardon. I work a 9-to-5 job as a mechanical engineer Monday through Friday. And I have a seasonal job. I work 2 jobs, my bud, and I am still doing this. Yeah, it can be done. I don't want to hear any excuses from you about why you're only at 5. Let's boost those numbers, rookie. Come on.
All right. I pledge right here and now to go see it at least 2 more times before the episode comes out.
Oh, that's good. Okay, see, we're getting on track.
That'll catch me up to how many times I saw the first in theaters. So.
Oh man.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
PinkStar, how many of you are you at?
Just once.
Yeah, that's okay, PinkStar. I will not give you as hard of a time. Andy, though, deserves to be given a hard time. You see how you didn't give an excuse, PinkStar? You just said I've seen it once. Andy's over here like, well, I gotta work and all this. No excuses.
Yeah, I've only been able to watch it once, but I have enjoyed it.
Good.
But now the thing is, how much time do you think Zootopia 2 will be on theaters yet?
Well, I mean, a typical movie release is what, like 100 days or so?
Varies. Zootopia 1 was in theaters over 150. I think like 154. That number's sticking out to me, but I know it was just over 150. The thing with Zootopia 1 was it was an incredibly leggy movie.
And obviously it was a sleeper hit.
It was, and so a lot of its demand wasn't burnt off in the first week or two. A lot of people discovered it after, so that's why its run lasted as long as it did.
Word of mouth.
Yes, word of mouth. And luckily, we're seeing the same thing with the second movie. Difference being that it did have a bigger opening because it already had that built up in anticipation and the fans that were ready for it. A little bit bigger.
Yes. Also, the thing is that Zootopia originally was released at different times around the world. It was released almost internationally at the same time, almost.
Yeah.
Japan got it a little bit later, but for the most part, we got it all at once. So
which was actually similar to the first run. I remember Japan, and I think this was kind of a norm from what I've seen with Japanese releases, is they'll get it a little bit later. Because the first one I remember, I was like, all right, Japan, I need you to pull some Frozen numbers here. And, that was asking a lot. But still, it obviously did well in Japan. But, so like you pointed out, Pink Star, it didn't even, for this release, it was kind of all at once. And then Japan was a couple weeks behind, but and then the first one released during spring break domestically, which is a typical release date for Disney when they're putting out their new Disney and Pixar putting out their new releases versus sequels, and Thanksgiving's kind of become their sequel drop. So no, I'm really happy with how it's been doing though. It's obviously it's been doing great.
My estimate that the movie will still be in theaters until maybe late January.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was.
I think it's going to make it to Hoppers.
Yeah?
Yeah, I do. March.
February, March?
Yeah.
March?
I think now when I say that,
it would be really cool if they kept it in theaters until the 10th anniversary of the first release.
they cut it. They're like, March, just a day away. No, you don't get this.
March 3rd.
Because again, with movie theater releases, for those that don't pay as much attention to it, and I never used to. It wasn't until the first Zootopia run that I did. But Zootopia, kind of following along, and I also kind of pay attention to there's some forums that discuss a lot. Box Office Theory is one of them, where I kind of see what people are saying in regards to expectations and where things are going and trends, and obviously Box Office Mojo, the numbers. There's a lot of different places you could get this information, but with the with its run, I'm guessing, of course, like the rest of us, I think it can make it to March, but that's also basing off of can it manage that run? Can it stay in theaters that long? And the way these movies will work is they'll have their major theaters, and then once they drop it, it goes down to what people still kind of refer to as dollar theaters, and that continues its box office run. So even though it might not be in a Regal or AMC or Cinemark, it'll still continue its run longer, because that's, again, I was like, oh, there's discount theaters that exist out there, and they pick these movies up after they're dropped from the major ones. So that's where it might be able to extend its run, and actually we could see a boost whenever they do drop into those theaters, because a lot of people will wait, those that are on a budget and trying to maybe take the whole family to see it. Sometimes they'll wait for that. So there's a lot that could still happen. As you could tell, I have been passionate about the box office runs of Zootopia and Zootopia 2, so this is something where I'm very much I'm like, all right, let's go.
Oh, yes. Well, and I'm looking at Box Office Mojo right now, and apparently even after a full 30 days of release, they're still in being shown in 3,370 of the 4,000 theaters that did it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not much of a drop-off so far.
Yeah.
After a month?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we compare it with what Inside Out 2 earned, it was 1.7, almost 1.7 billion, and currently Zootopia 2 is at 1.3. Do you think it can still earn another $400,000?
Million? Yeah. I mean, honestly, like, given that it's still doing about 3 to 6 million a day domestically, like not even taking China or international into account, considering it's still doing that much, I think it could, and knock on wood here, could hit the 2 billion.
That is very optimistic.
It is very optimistic.
It is.
It's very, but I think
at least 1.6.
I know that when it comes to, say, like the studios and whatnot, I know they're like, come on, let's beat Inside Out 2. We want to, it's like that inner rivalry. Mm-hmm. It's like, come on. So they, I know that's a goal that's being eyed, and that would be a really, really good marker. Obviously, the one I want it to beat Avatar 3. I think that
Fire
is doable. If Zootopia hits its high end and Avatar 3 comes in at its lower end projections right now, Zootopia 2 could top it, and I don't think that's anything. I don't think a lot of people anticipated that. Very few probably did, and those that did were probably laughed, away until now. So that's the one I'm watching. We'll see how that all comes together, because China's really helping Zootopia.
Of course.
Avatar didn't really take off as much in some of like in Japan and whatnot. Like Avatar's really not doing great numbers comparatively, relatively. So,
and compared to its previous 2 movies.
Yeah, which a lot of people will scoff and laugh at the idea, and rightly so. It's like Avatar's obviously doing fine; it's making a lot of money, but in the scheme of if the expectation was it to do what the previous 2 movies did, that's where it's like it's not going to get there, and I'm hoping that it gets just low enough that Zootopia can bounce above it.
Whereas the sequel to Zootopia is doing better than its original, so it's an upward trajectory rather than a downward one.
Yes. Yeah.
Now what we also need to do is for Zootopia 2 to be the most viewed movie on Disney Plus on 26.
Oh yeah.
That's what we need.
I mean, in Race, you're pretty much holding up the domestic market, so I mean,
I've got some help.
A little bit.
But yeah, it would on the domestic side, and again, I think this is right now asking a lot, but if everybody works together and Andy starts seeing this movie a couple more times,
I will.
We have I think
I'm going to get to double digits. I promise I will get to double digits.
Good. There's still a chance. There's still a path to a potential for us to see this movie beat Minecraft domestically. It's it is a reach, because right now, like there's been times where it's like, is it even going to hit 400? That's starting to look better. But Minecraft hit in the 420 range, and then there's still the question of how Avatar is going to end up. Nice. And where Avatar is going to end up. So I don't know if there's really expectation for Zootopia to beat Avatar domestically, but I would still be happy if it's able to, top Minecraft. Like that was a movie that surprised a lot of people too, as far as like a domestic or a box office run. Props to them. They they put out a movie that at the right time, and it took off, went viral in some cases, not in the best cases in some ways.
Steve.
Oh man,
Chicken jockey.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm happy to report that I was in a theater viewing for that did not have a insane reaction. So there's that.
All right. Well, speaking of theater reactions and such, you got a bit of an early preview.
I did.
So, which
what was your experience?
Really funny because as I was over here trying to be like, oh yeah, I'm working my connections. I'm doing my part to try to see about going to the premiere. And hey, if I can swing that, you're invited. And then you're over here with an invite to the rap party.
Yeah, I had to stay quiet about things. Yeah, if nothing else, just to mess with everybody. But no, it was incredible. Being able to go out to that, and for those that don't know, a rap party is where they're showing the movie for the first time to their staff. This was a week before it had its world premiere, where like the cast, the voice cast,
the red carpet and everything.
The red carpet, and my understanding is you could buy tickets to that. They're very expensive, but it's still available to the public. Where this is like their the
private internal one, showing off the final draft, the final movie that is going to everyone else.
Yeah, and so it was held at the Dolby Theater in Hollywood, same theater that they host the Oscars at. And there was a whole bit, Jared and Byron and Yvette came out and did a speech, and were, of course, thanking everybody. They're talking to the people that made this movie happen, that brought this movie to life. And I thought that was just really, again, special to be there and see that, and see how proud everybody was of this product that they had put together. And it's funny because a number of the people that were around me in the audience knew oh, that's like the Zootopia fan guy right there. And so after the movie finished and the credits started rolling, I had all these people leaning forward, and they're like, okay, how did we do? And I was still processing everything in the moment. I was just like, I think I liked it. I think that was really good. But there was a lot still going through my mind.
Processing everything that happened.
Everything. I was still processing the fact that I'm like, oh my God, that was a good sequel. That was a good sequel. They
actually pulled it off.
Yeah, so my wife.
I mean, full disclosure, we weren't going into it fully expecting it to exceed the first movie. I don't think anybody was expecting it to be better than the first.
Yes.
Well, yeah.
Beforehand, just Disney's track record.
Right. And that's the thing, is that I'll try not to completely rehash everything. You've probably at least seen that I uploaded it, Andy, but I
watched the full thing. I watched all 6 hours of
of my content. I have a full review.
I have long work shifts.
There you go. So I have a full review up. And
that is double the length of the actual movie.
Yep, naturally. And he was just talking about it, and then included a Q&A in there. But in that, I talked about how for this movie, the closer it got, and I don't know if other people even felt the need to do this, but for me, I've never had a movie affect me like Zootopia 1 did. That meant so much to me. That was
Agreed.
that involved characters that I've loved like I've never loved characters before. I've had favorite characters oh, who's your favorite Disney character? Oh, I like Chip. Chip the Chipmunk, he's awesome.
Yeah.
But I've never had it
Hiro Hamada, super great, interesting character.
Yeah, but I've never been in a spot where it's I gotta buy merchandise, this or that. It's just never been there with something like this. So as the movie got closer, the release...
Never felt compelled to go see it more than once.
Yeah, very few movies had I seen more than once in theaters before the first Zootopia. And again, for those that don't know, I saw the first one 30 times during its theatrical run. It took me over 350 days to get to that number 30.
Wow.
It did not take me that long to get to 30 for this one. But I had to... I felt the need to kind of drop... I was like, I need to drop the expectations. For those that don't know, and I'm going to stop saying that because I'm going to assume you guys just don't know. But for me, I am a massive Wild Hops shipper. Like, I am
you don't say.
Full in, 100%. It's got to be the way. And that was after the
editor have like some of his old tweets like up, like showing stuff like you don't say.
But it's, you know, and that was after the first movie. You know, that I was like it's got to be. And so naturally, I was really hoping for specifics headed into this movie. I was someone who was like, man, I really want them to kiss, you know, I want them to confess their love to each other. I want romance. Yeah. And
like I saw the gala bit like with them in the fancy clothes and stuff, and I was like, I hope they dance.
Yeah, like, you know, and that was actually one of the things, you know, a lot of people obviously for the last couple of years have been asking, you know, if you were such a big fan of this movie, of Zootopia 1, like, what is it that you want in the next? And for me, one of my simple requests was I would love to see Judy Hopps in a dress. And when the trailer dropped that she was in a dress, I was very happy. I was like, oh my gosh. I didn't realize how long we would get her in the dress for. Like, they kept her in that dress for a while in the movie. I was very thankful for that.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, no, I had these things that I knew I wanted, but as the movie got closer, I was like, okay, it is now time for me to try and drop what I want to happen and let the storytellers tell me what happens. And it's not an easy thing to do, and I couldn't completely drop it all, but going into the movie, it was very much just okay, I'm open to whatever you guys are going to give me. Please, if nothing else, let it be good. And
yes.
And then after I saw it at the rap
biggest
party,
worry.
Yeah, after I saw it at the rap party, I couldn't talk about it for 3 weeks. So I internalized
that
everything.
Had to have sucked.
And I couldn't go back and be like, you know, let me see it again here just to verify. Like, so that's why I was processing everything. Like, I'm like, was it actually as good as I thought it was, or am I just in denial because I wanted it to be good?
I only got to see it a week in advance, so like I didn't have to sit as long as you did. But at the same time, I was still just like, what can I say? What am I allowed to say? How can I say things in a way that says nothing but says what I feel? Yeah. So, like, I took to Twitter and just started saying yes to everything.
I had a convention that I went to, and the people that were paying attention to my Twitter, they saw that I had gone to this something, and they're like, have you seen it? Like, what's going on? And so I did tell everybody that I was bumping into that would ask, yes, I have seen it, and I can't talk about it. The thing I would leave it at is, even though I can't tell you anything, I said, go watch it. Yeah. Just make sure you go and see it, because if nothing else, I can say that, you know? And yeah, again, there was just a lot of internalizing, and I was like, again, with the Wild Hop stuff, I was sitting back, and I'm like, I know we didn't get a kiss, but I think we got something better. And the other thing, too, going into the movie is we didn't know until you saw the movie that there was even the potential of a third. You know, so, because I didn't see the Post-it note halfway through the movie, but clearly stayed to the end and saw the bird feather, and I was like, oh, and I think that is what also made me go, okay, okay, like we got this, cool. And I know we'll talk more about this in detail, as this recording goes, but it was just that, like, just the general feeling of, okay, no, they didn't kiss, but I feel like what we got was actually insanely meaningful, and I had to sit on this for, again, 3 weeks going, I think that was good. Like, I think this is good for the shippers. I think we're in a good spot. Like, and of course, after going back in and seeing it, with my wife and starting to see it with friends, and I'm like, oh no, we ate. This is good stuff.
They served a full 5-course meal.
Yeah,
they did. Yeah. They did, and honestly, for my experience was the opposite. Actually, like, okay, I agree. I will also say I also love the ship, but I did go with low expectations because I'm like, I'm pretty sure that Disney are not gonna confirm it exactly in the explicit way, but like, they're gonna give us something, but I'm not gonna assume things. Let's see how this plays out. And I watch it in Spanish because, I'm from Mexico, and at least where I live, there was no option for the English dub, but still, I watch it. I love the movie, and I was like, this is practically what I had in mind. This is what I expected to develop for them in the relationship. And for me, I don't necessarily need a confirmation in the, for instance, while I will be interested, it will be very nice to have a kiss on screen and everything. Perhaps because of how I view things ever since I was a little kid. I'm gonna talk a bit out of what is cartoons. For context, I love anime. And one of my favorite couples of anime is Sakura Kinomoto and Lee Shaoran from Cardcaptor Sakura. And in general, any work made by Clamp, which are for female writers, there are no physical, the most physical thing we see them is holding hands and hugging. There are no kissing with couples, any work by Clamp as long as I know currently. But the important thing is that by their expressions on their faces, the way they hold hands, if they hug, their statements between them of how they feel. That's what I felt in the sequel. Like, yeah, I don't need them really to kiss or to outrightly confess exactly like what they feel, like I said, in explicit way. Like how they handle it in the sequel, like that's what I was expecting, and I loved it.
Nice. I think that's a superpower. I wish I could sit here and say I'd be just fine with that, but no. I
understand. Like, I understand that. Like, I'm not saying I'm disappointed. Like, I was expecting for this to happen, but of course, now that there was the tease that eventually there will be Zootopia 3 at some point, that does lift up the expectations that perhaps there will be something else on Zootopia 3.
Yeah.
That does give a more expectation, but like I said, that's how I view things. Like as long as those two know how they feel towards each other, that's what's important.
Exactly. Like, genuinely, I think this is even more romantic than like you could expect from a movie where they do kiss at the end. And like it just reminds me of like, well,
if we really think about it, this is an actual slow burn.
Words.
If we're talking about Disney, I think that's a true slow burn, because they rarely do that. Usually, whenever they try to do romance, like, I'm not saying that Disney doesn't do it in a great way. They do, but they, in a way, realistically speaking, they rush it.
Yes. And that, I agree.
Real. Here, this feels real.
Right, and I know that was something that Byron Howard specifically said he wanted to avoid. he wanted to avoid rushing it and having it be like the couple gets together and then they stop being interesting, you know?
Well, and that's the thing is, again, I went into this thinking I knew what I wanted. I went in thinking like, oh man, if there's a kiss, I'm gonna lose my mind. And then getting what we got, I was like, oh my god, because again, since we didn't know that the third movie was coming, there was still that like, oh, is this, you know, this could be it. This could be the one sequel we get. It was very realistic that might have been the wrap. But getting what we got, I walked out of that theater and I was like, I ended up with something that I didn't even know that I wanted. The idea
better than getting what you did want.
The idea of a slow burn romance that they can actually flesh out in a way like Pink Star and you have said, Andy, in regards to making it feel real. It's not just like, oh yeah, okay, like now they're just there together. We got to see them grow and get to that point. I'm glad because at one point this was going to be a movie that was going to have more of a time skip. That instead we got to watch Judy and Nick actually get to that point of developing their feelings, developing their relationship, see the speed bumps that should arise based off of their clashing personalities, but in a way that it wasn't just, oh, you know, Nick's a jokester and lazy, so he doesn't want to do it. But instead, to give us Nick being like, well, you see, it's not that I'm lazy or don't want to do the case. It's that I don't want you to get hurt. And there, you know, the confession scene, because I think when, not to speak for you guys, but I know when like I saw the promotional art or in one of the trailers, like when they're standing there in that scene, we all were like, something happens here.
Yes.
And some of us were thinking, I thought initially, I'm like, oh, like, is this like the moment where like, you know, I was thinking that might have been like the moment of like conflict at first. I'm like, oh, they look upset. But, oh my gosh.
So I was thinking that too at first, but then I learned that Jared Bush had put like a giant mural of that
on his
scene
office,
in his office. And I'm like, no, this is even bigger than that. This is something critical. And
it was.
It was so worth it.
Yeah. No, it was good. And so, yeah, no, I thought I knew what I wanted. And the movie actually gave me something better. I will say, like, now I can say this now, and I'll have to do the same thing I did, you know, going into Zootopia 3 whenever it comes out, where I'm going to be like, okay, gotta drop the stuff again. But to me, I feel like the path, if you will, that they're on right now, with not only the confession scene but the end credit scene, I'm just like, I'm a believer. I'm like, it's gonna happen. Give me that romance.
They are so in love with each other at this point.
Yeah, and I feel like
they've said everything except those three words.
Yeah, and I feel like you can't just stagnate the relationship in a way where it's like, okay, cool, we developed their relationship and it's good. Now we'll just focus on something else. It's like, no, there clearly seems to be more here for growth. I feel like the creators have talked about whether it's the voice actors or the directors talking about how there does seem to be more, with this relationship and where it may go. And I call me very narrow-minded, but I'm like, I only see it going further in one direction here. And again, it's my hope. It's like, I can't express to you guys how important it is to me, that they're able to get to that point. Like, to a point
Agreed.
where I can't even express why it's so important to me that they do. But I feel like it would just, oh my god, like I can't even really put it into words, but it really is just that important to me. And I'm just so hoping that's everyone around. There's people around me. My friends are like, it seems pretty clear, and I'm like, yeah, but until I have it in writing, until I see it there, we know they care about each other. I want to see it get to that next step.
Yes, 1000%. And so, with that in mind, do we want to actually talk about the plot of the movie?
Let's do
Yes,
it.
exactly.
I can talk for 14 hours than this, so you guys take the reins.
I know.
45
Cut me
minutes.
off when you need to.
Look, we'll try to rein you in when it's time for you to go see it for the 7th time?
Yes.
You said? But at the same time, yeah, we could also talk for hours and hours. So, I mean, just starting off from the beginning where it starts right where the last one left off with them capturing Bellwether and like going to trial. And I loved the bit where Bellwether's in court and like he just flips the table and like attacks the cameraman.
I haven't seen anyone
fun.
I haven't seen anyone point out that there's this poor like lawyer mouse that's on that table.
The lawyer mouse is on the table.
Yeah.
And he's just tossed aside, and I mean, I do love that we get to see Bellwether with her mask off. Like, the whole first movie, she's got a mask on, or is like in a position of control and power. And when she has neither of those, she is insane. She is just nuts.
Yep.
And I love that.
I love it. Yeah.
Well,
and
what else?
I will say, it is interesting because you can tell how much the animation has improved over the years. Because you can see the clips that are from the first movie side by side with new clips. And it's like, wow, this is different animation.
It evolved.
It's evolved a lot.
This movie also has on a general side, it has a much more cartoony flow to the movements of the characters, which is enjoyable. I like that they were able to kind of put that in. You know, there's, if you've seen the still frames of some of the scenes,
we thought the characters were very expressive in the original. In the sequel, they're even more expressive, and that's amazing.
Yeah, and I think it, like, if I'm remembering right, the original was made in Maya, and this one was made in their in-house program called Presto, which was what Pixar developed.
Yep.
Yeah, and
that makes sense.
like, you can see how much more freedom I think they had with this one, just on a technical level. Just because they were using a tool that they developed themselves.
They constantly
took
do that.
full advantage of it.
Yeah,
so,
of course.
Yeah, and then it goes straight into what was it? Don't worry, Nick and Judy are on it with their baby.
So,
well, we can't
I don't know
say
about
that was definitely a tease.
Clawhauser was so happy to say that line.
Yep.
Like, as big of shippers as we are, Clawhauser is the ultimate shipper.
He's
in their universe,
back there
it is.
But
yeah, like the whole undercover scene at the opening was a complete tease.
Oh, one of many.
Like, they didn't have to go all the way to do that. They didn't have to, but they did.
Yeah, and there were several things that they'd considered that weren't that. And I'm very glad that they made the choice to go the way they did.
Yeah. I mean, I'm saying I'm complaining or anything.
The art book and
I also enjoyed it.
You can see that they had different styles. Like, different disguises and things. Yeah.
I thought, it was funny because when that came up, I
Mm-hmm.
had full expectation that I was like, okay, it's gonna be Finnick. You know, like you guys can't fool me. But I've come to appreciate that scene more. You know, again after seeing it, it's like, wow, yeah, they really did just, you know, like Nick apparently turned to Judy at some point and was like, all right, here's the undercover that we're gonna go with. You know, I've already done the single dad thing. Now we're gonna do a pair of parents. And Judy I was like, yeah, okay, let's go with it. I love that. I think in the screenplay that you were talking about that was released, I think she was described as like a yoga mommy or something.
I'm looking it up. I'm looking it up because like
you're
there's
fact
so
checking
much
me.
in. No, I've just had it pulled up because like there's so much in the stage notes and stage directions. That's just mwah.
Mm-hmm. And also, I think I also thought that they needed to find a way to make Fennec make a cameo, but talk a little, and even using a bit of archive audios from Tommy Lister Jr.
Yes. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
because he unfortunately passed away, but while they were working on this.
I think it's nice that they got him in early, and I think it's great that, you know, the family was on board with it, and to kind of help give that character, you know, a little extra send off, because Tiny was very excited about the prospects of sequels. He was like the first one that was like talking about him years ago.
Back when everyone was like, "That's not going to happen." Like they aren't gonna.
I think he was like drunk at like a party or something and just started going off like, yeah,
yeah, they're going. Yeah, we're going to make 3 movies.
Rest in peace, Tiny.
Rest in peace.
Yeah.
And yeah, I did look it up in the screenplay. It says Judy and Nick are undercover. Judy is yoga mommed out with a shirt that says "Don't worry, be happy." Nick wears a Foxy Dad t-shirt. We don't have a clear look into the stroller, but there's a baby bunny in it.
Now, I will say this, since we are talking the screenplay, because I've seen some people pick up the screenplay and be like, oh my gosh, there's stuff that, you know, I've seen people get concerned, like, it doesn't seem like very Wild Hops, or you know, this scene isn't how I thought it would be written.
You've got to keep in mind, this is written after they've done everything.
Yes. And I need people to realize that if they're going to be, because they are being so tight-lipped, so purposefully around where, specifically where the relationship's going to go, they're not going to release a screenplay that's like, and Nick looked lovingly at Judy in her dress and was like, oh my gosh, I want to marry her. So, you know, it's like, guys, if anything, they're going to take that stuff out.
It's more technical.
Yeah, it's just very much like, here's what the characters say. Yeah, it's and you know, the studios will tell you, like, they're the idea of a script, it's a very loose thing that they have during their production of a movie. You know, they don't have something that they go, here it is, and we're sticking to it. So yeah, that's that. Yeah, I do hope that a lot of people understand that this is something that they put out. It was kind of typed out. It was approved, you know, and that a lot of that stuff that we see in there, that people are getting amused, including myself, by, like seeing Judy say, like, you know, WTF, and you know, I don't know the rating of this podcast, but
we're mostly family friendly.
In that case, other words that are in the screenplay, I hear that is very much.
I did also make some kind of other jokes, so you know, we'll go with whatever.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I mean, Jared Bush has a very fun way of conveying, you know, like, this is what we're talking about. This is the reaction. It's fun. Yes,
and also keep in mind with animation in particular, the script that they use to make the movie is not the script that it's not the screenplay that's released at the end. The script that they use to make the movie is largely storyboards. It's largely like animatics. It's things of that sort. And then, like, after all is said and done, and he'll go back and like make a final draft of the screenplay that is accurate to what the movie actually has.
Yeah.
But
and there is a lot of improv too.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, and that stuff I think gets captured in this screenplay.
It does.
And this
It does.
Like Jason Bateman basically improvises all of his lines. I'm pretty sure
Not
about
all
that.
of them, but a good chunk
mostly,
of them.
mostly. I'm pretty sure. And I think they add most of his ad libs are also included on the movie somehow.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I actually saw a thing from the original Zootopia today. Somebody shared behind the scenes of Jason Bateman recording, and
Darling,
and he was given a line that was like, "Flash, 100-yard dash, buddy, nice to see you. We need some help. Darling, what's your name?" And the original line was something like, "What was your name again?" But he improvised, "Darling, I've forgotten your name." Just slight changes like that, but it makes it far better and far more in character.
Yeah, it's more natural.
But that gets reflected in the final version, whereas like what they were working with was not this.
Yeah. Another.
It is
moment.
a good reference material. It is a lot of fun to read.
Yes.
It's just like.
What I find funny fun anecdote is that at the end, Jennifer and Jason Bateman didn't get to record together as much because of all the ad-libs that Jason was doing at the time, and she ended up laughing and she will ruin the recording, so they had to record separately. That's so funny.
As a voice actor, I can completely understand.
But what I find it really interesting is that Jennifer laughs at Jason's ad-libs, while in character, Judy is not amused with Nick's humor.
No, she's amused, but she's very much the sort of like har. Like
she does a lot of eye rolling. Like
yes.
My God.
It's the sort of humor where their non-reaction or their groans is the exact intended sort of response.
The to circle back to the scene, the car chase that takes place.
Right.
It's I felt like I got that feeling because I've seen buddy cop movies, where a lot of them will jump into the middle of a mission or a case where and you have like typically start off with that high speed type of action, whether it's a car chase or something else. I really enjoyed that they went that route. I love that they had Judy driving this stick shift car, like the way that she throws that thing into gear. I'm just like, oh yes. It's great. We'll talk
the hog
about
rod is
Michael Giacchino.
Amazing design.
Yes, that's amazing. Giacchino score, fantastic. I really, and it just kicks the pacing off. Because this is a very kind of a fast hitting movie. I like it. I like the pacing myself. I'm like,
oh yeah,
and again the way it kind of kicks off with that car chase.
It does not hold back. Like I had to say this. This is a movie that does not waste a second of its time. It does not it takes full advantage of every moment it has.
Yes, it's very balanced. It knows where to slow down and it knows where to go fast.
Yes, and I appreciate talking about it slowing down. Zootopia does something, or Zootopia 2 does something that we get, I feel, less and less of, especially with animated movies. It's not afraid to be quiet. It's not afraid to have a moment of just silence, to let something set in. We see it numerous times with, the carrot pen scene, with the honeymoon lodge scene, and of course, with the confession scene. Like there's just, it allows itself to breathe where it needs to. It allows that silence to set in. And honestly, it works on a very strong scale with an audience, because that's part of why I've been going to this movie so much. Is it's not just like, oh, I gotta see it again. Oh, I gotta see it again. Oh, maybe I forgot. While yes, I want to see it again, I love being there with the audience, seeing them get to experience. A lot of people that are seeing it are still seeing it for the first time. And and you know, hearing the gasp as the carrot pin falls, and then the you know, the oh as it hits the ground, you know, just watching people react to the twist, you know, it's that this movie, like, to me, it's like, this feels like this is my movie, not in a like egotistical like it belongs to me, but it's like, this is the movie where I'm like, it's somehow topped Zootopia 1 as my favorite movie. I didn't expect it.
Agreed.
I told myself it wasn't going to happen. I knew that Zootopia 2 wasn't going to be better than Zootopia 1 for me, and it was!
Yep.
And a lot of that, again, is in that relationship stuff, but just the way that they're able to convey those scenes and allow that impact, allow it to breathe for the audience, it is just so well done.
Yes, it is. And I completely agree. Like, I put in my review, I consider Zootopia a 98 out of 100 movie. Somehow, this is a 99. like it is so good.
The people I walked out of the theater with today, the mom turned to her kids and she's like, I didn't expect to love that movie. And I just was like chuckling, and then there was another group that walked by me that they were also like, that was actually really good. And again, it's that where like I'm walking out of the theater and I'll have this kind of emotional reaction to hearing people respond in that way. 'Cause I love the first Zootopia. I'm not sitting here saying like, if somebody says I prefer the first one over the second, it's not like I'm going to be like, well, what the heck? But it's just hearing that it's like they did it again. Going back to the rap party, it's like, you guys did it. Like, oh my god,
yeah.
No, like everybody was very
exactly
scared.
What I said to the Disney people after I got to see it for the first time. Like, I have my text messages to the publicist and who set me up with the early screening, and I'm like, you guys pulled it off. You nailed it. Holy cow.
Like, us as audience were very scared of the results. Like, is it gonna be good? Is it gonna be mixed? Like, they're gonna fail to do a good sequel?
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And that's why that first viewing for me was so hard to stop at one. Because I'm like, okay, yeah. I got past the like one bit that also gets me emotional, the reptile ravine as they're walking through, you know, with Gary.
Yes.
And they but I've noticed quiet. It is, but I've noticed that I think the reason I specifically have this reaction to it when I do is that was, I think, the moment at the rap party, you know, again, the first viewing, where I kind of sat back and I'm like, the movie's almost done, and by God, they didn't mess this up. Like, and it was more than that. It's not that they didn't just not mess it up. It was like, this is a good movie, and that's where I was like, oh my God. So yeah, no, I'm glad that we were able to, you know, like PinkStar said, it's like we had those nerves going in, like, oh, please don't be bad. My wife, she was a massive Wreck-It Ralph fan. She loves Fix It Felix and Calhoun and their relationship and all that.
I'm so sorry for her.
And for her sequel, like,
I'm so sorry.
She was worried going into it because of the trailers, but then coming out of it, yeah, she very much was just like, I've seen it. I've watched it happen. And I was like, I had faith, though. I was like, the people that are at the helm, knowing what I was knowing behind the scenes, stuff that I can't or couldn't talk about, you know, it was that kind of stuff where I'm like, I have faith that the right people are in charge and pushing this movie forward.
Wait, couldn't talk about or still can't talk about?
Never will. And I never will. But just more in the regard of, like, you know, stuff that I was
Such a
hearing,
tease.
in regards to production for the movie. No spoilers. Everyone knows not to spoil things. I'm like, I want to know nothing.
Yeah.
but just kind of hearing about, like, again, the staffing, who we knew was going to be in charge of, again, the story. We knew Jared was going to be all over this movie again, and Byron getting involved.
But then he got his promotion, and like, and it was a little unclear, like, how the directing was happening. But it's like, okay, no, Byron and Jared are working together as a team. Like, okay, I'm in.
Yeah, I'm trusting them. Yes.
Yeah. Totally.
Those two have yet to miss.
Whew.
And yeah. So anyway, back to the movie. Like, I just loved the whole setup of the chase, for one. Like you said, it was a classic cop movie car high-speed chase with lots of gags, and like Sheepshire was phenomenal. That was very funny. But then afterwards as well, the consequences. Like, I feel like a lot of movies are afraid to have consequences for when characters do character stuff, like main character things. But like, they very quickly establish Chief Bogo being like, no, you're going to have consequences for this. Go to therapy. Go to Partners in Crisis. You've been together for 1 week, and I can tell you're going to need this.
But he does it because he sees the potential in them. Like, when he
100%.
When he asked all the cops to leave the office, and he started talking to Judy, it was like, he does view her as a very good cop, but he also realizes that she is too much of an overachiever, and that can go work against her. That's why he advises her that they do need to go to partner therapy. I really like that he has a more positive view of Judy, but at the same time, it's very funny how he views Nick, how the way he kind of like lets everything slide.
It's like Mr. Big has a similar like take where I feel like they're like, well, we like you, and I guess we're stuck with him.
Yeah,
because you like
pretty much.
So fine.
Well, we like one of yous.
Great line.
Whereas Nick thinks that he's the suave, like, people pleaser type.
Yeah.
Where in reality, like, the most he gets is like okay.
Well,
like,
depends on the character. Like when he knows
everyone loves Judy, they tolerate Nick. It's great.
Well, it depends on the scene. Like, we know it on the galley scene. What he does works on his favor, and even Judy's impressed by it. So it depends on the situation.
Yep.
Yeah. Though, I did want to ask, did you catch Paubert in the beginning the first time?
Not the first time, no. No. I didn't even know. So there was so little that I looked into after. So I did reacts of, I think, the 3 trailers that were released. And the last one I did was, per the release, was called the final trailer. And then they released another one after that.
And then they released 2 more. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I didn't watch after that one. I committed to not watch it anymore because I'm like, I see everything I need to see. I don't want any more information. I don't want to see anything else. So I hadn't seen a lot of Paubert showing up. Like in some of the promotional material, he was there, but they did a good job with this though because I felt like they were just as revealing with like Nibbles, and we knew Gary seemed to have a more positive role based even on the teaser. But I think that it worked to their advantage when we get to talking about the twist that they had numerous characters that you were still trying to piece like are you really actually good? Like, so no, I didn't notice Paubert for a while.
Exactly.
Sarah actually noticed him before I did.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah. We watched almost all the previews and everything that was released prior to the movie, and practically they did the most to not get Paubert on screen. Like they show up the laces except him.
Yeah, we were joking that we heard the Japanese version of Pawbird before we heard the English version of Pawbird.
Technically, yes,
that's funny.
we did.
Because he doesn't show up until the Japanese trailer.
Yeah, the only glimpse we had of Pawbird was on the teaser trailer that was released from the very first time. That's the only thing we had of Pawbird until that Japanese trailer.
That also might have just
props to them for the restraint, because so much of the time trailers give away too much of the movie, and they held back.
Yeah, no, these were good. I've gone back and watched them since, and I'm like, yeah, no, these were good trailers.
Even the stuff they showed off at like conventions and exhibitions and such, like Annecy or Animation is Film, they never showed anything past past them jumping into the tube.
Yeah. I think also the only bit we got from Popper technically was on the one spot where Jason Bateman was introducing the sequel. We got to see a bit of the actors performing their characters, and we only heard Andy Samberg perform a line of Popper, and that's it.
So
what's funny is that Andy said something like, "I just nailed it," and then goes back to Jason, agree to disagree. And I'm like, wait a second. Call this. Jared wrote that on Twitter. Does that mean Nick says the line or something? But then I also remember that also Judy said it on the other preview, and I was like, wait, I'm not understanding anything. And then when I saw the movie, like, oh, okay, now it makes sense.
Yeah.
Like
Robert
I think they did
a lot of changes.
They did it on purpose.
Yes.
So that was also like, probably it too. Like they were probably still putting his stuff together.
Yeah. But at the same time, I think they had the best deception with his twist, because they had given us real villains too.
Yes.
Oh yeah, the lizards were true villains.
Yeah. No, I agree. I 100% agree, because I accepted that. It like they do. There's a few things they do in this movie that throw you off the trail. Like you said, we get the in-your-face villain this time. It's like, okay, Milton.
Yeah, Milton is like a true villain. He is like, I found it very refreshing. Like, this is a weird sentence that might go into clips of me out of context, but it is very refreshing to have someone willing to just straight up murder someone with their own hands.
And we got to see it.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, that was great-grandfather, but,
Still.
Yeah, I know that he was going to. He was like, hey, move over. I'm gonna tear the snake apart. But no, another thing that they do, because I think a lot of people that still suspected that, what's up with this Pawbird guy, is after the honeymoon lodge where Kitty shows up with the fur, and Milton is clearly pissed off, and he's like, fine, Pawbird. Like, that's your moment, like, oh, he really is just going off doing his own thing. Yeah, it's like, oh, wow, okay.
Like, he is not tied to this in any way.
Yeah, and I didn't suspect. I didn't see it coming. I
didn't either.
I thought, okay, we have our villain, and they're not going to do the twist thing here. And I can tell you, man, from the reactions that we are getting from people in theaters, there are a lot of people that also don't see it coming. And I think it's the difference.
I went with my dad, and I heard him gasp.
Yeah,
he never does that.
I think what hits harder with this, because like Bellwether, there's still people that are like, the Bellwether twist, but.
I still hope she's one of the best villains.
The thing with her, though, is her reveal is soft. She she comes out of the shadows. You don't initially think like, oh, I should be worried, and then you're kind of sitting there though, like, why is she here? And then Judy questions it, and then it's like, oh. For this, you have no time to it is. Yes. She just gets stabbed in the neck, and you're like, oh, oh my God.
And she straight up says, oh, in our last case, there was kind of a twist. Yeah, I know. Stabs.
Oh,
man. Yeah, and I was like...
It's just...
I felt really bad for Judy and Gary when Popper turned their backs on them. I really felt bad for them.
Oh, yeah.
Betrayal.
Yeah. And at the same time, he also feels so genuine afterwards. Like, he's just like, I thought you were, like, I thought you got it. Like, I thought you were on board. Like, but, I mean, this is just how it has to be, you know?
Yeah,
like,
the way that they have Pobbert, the way that he says, like, he explains things, where it's not even, like, it's not even laced in evil. It's like he's just like, yeah, he says it, you get it, you know, like, I gotta do, you know, we're on the same wavelength. He's got this, it's just so, it's one of the things that I love about how they have, he doesn't just turn into this character who's like, oh, now I'm a madman running around with a weapon. Like, even when he's talking to Nick.
To be fair, Bellwether was like as soon as she was caught, she was like, get them.
Like, who tells somebody, you know, as they're about to stab them with this poison, they're like, yeah, you'll go fast. You'll see. Like that. Like, what's wrong with you, Pobbert? Get the hell out of here. Oh my god!
Like how he tossed...
And not only that, but like,
sorry.
It's just like he also even says, "Please don't be mad at me," in the exact same tone Nick did to Finnick, like in the ice cream parlor.
He watched the first movie.
Yes. I literally had it playing on Disney Plus as I went in to see it the first time.
Yeah. No.
Like as I drove in.
And then PinkStar, was there something you were gonna say?
Yeah, the way he tossed Gary to the snow after he stabbed Judy and everything. And what it felt different with other twist villains is that before Pobbert leaves the control room, Judy's like, you can be different from your family, and he's like, I don't want to. And I felt that as a callback to when she was speaking to Nick back on the honeymoon launch. That was like, maybe we are different. But there, I think she snaps and is like, it's not wrong to be different. Because she's trying to, again, turn him back to... She thinks he can't redeem himself at that moment. And he's like, I don't want to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's good. It's perfectly
different.
Cold.
It's different.
It is
from other.
It is ice cold.
It's different from other twist villains because, like, she's trying to give him a chance to see that he can change his ways. And in other occasions with twist villains, they don't do that. More like they try to reprimand them, like, seriously, you're gonna get punished for what you did or something. And here she didn't. At least not at first. Not until
he was just blatantly unapologetic.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But at the same time, like, not wanting to be different is a thing that you can relate to, you know? It's like, yeah, you want to be part of your family. It's just his family happened to be murderous psychopaths.
Yeah, there's a lot of psychological stuff going on with Pobbert. It does not.
Yeah.
I think one thing some people certainly need to grasp is that does not make it an automatically forgivable thing that he does. You know, murdering four people.
He does attempt to murder many people. He does commit attempted murder.
He has context of why he behaves the way he did, but that doesn't make him, I'd say, like the redeem arc. Like we have seen it in cartoons and everything, how characters can redeem themselves, and in this case, well, he chose not to.
Yeah.
And it's a very active choice. And I think, like, that's the difference between Pobbert and Bellwether, though. Like, Pobbert is not a schemer. He's, like, he's a great manipulator, but he is not, like, a mastermind type. He's putting on a front, but he's not quite...
He wasn't pulling as many strings as Bellwether was. Like, Bellwether had a lot going on, where Pobbert had a very specific, like... he just had to worry about Gary
very specific
for a while.
goal. Yes.
Yeah.
And he let his guard down. Like, he straight up told Judy in the beginning that he's trying to be a Lynxly.
Yeah.
He did?
Yeah. It's just one of those things where it's like, you feel for him, you feel bad for him,
I don't.
understand that. Well, okay.
Screw that guy.
Okay, I feel bad for him in the context of who his dad is.
Oh, boo-hoo.
Because Milton is awful.
No, he's
Milton
got
is just
he's got
awful.
a bad father, but he sure chose the wrong direction to
Yes.
go.
Oh, no, 100%. 110%.
Yeah.
And I thought it was so funny where, like, when he finally got confronted by Milton about it and was like, I'm doing this for the family, Daddy. And we can, like, commit murder and burn the patent and all this. And then it just cuts to, like, Wind Dancer right there.
Yes, it did.
Yes. Also, something I also...
Wind Dancer was great, too.
Yeah, he was a really interesting side character to the story of, at first being like a screen major, like only he got the position because of the Milton and the Lynxies and everything, but at the end he chose not to side with them anymore, like because he obviously at the end like this is a lot of corruption. Am I really up for this? And also he got pushed up because of what Nibbles said about just being a hero on screen, or you want to really be a hero. But also, I also thought about the scene where...
I'll always take more Patrick Warburton.
What was it? What was at the gallop? Well, after the gallop, when Milton discovered Judy, Nick, and Gary, and he was saying all this about, that they're not gonna say a word about this, and he pulls his claws out and everything before Bogo shows up. Well, at that moment he shows up, and at the end he gets poison of one of Gary's fangs. And I'm like, they really had to take out Chief Bogo because he wouldn't have not sided with the Lynxies. Like, he would have really backed up Judy and Nick on the situation.
Right. Yeah, no, he would have asked a lot more questions. Like,
especially after Bellwether. Like, no, he would not have taken the Lynxly's lead
too lightly. And because the other cops are not that confident on Judy and Nick, they will not give them the benefit of the doubt. And because of the context of what was happening, they thought they were turning against the cops. And like, no. You're getting things wrong.
Yeah. Hogbottom, by the way.
Hogbottom is interesting.
So I ended up loving this character because we get, like, that she's, she's not fully on board with Judy and Nick, and they are newcomers, and they did go and technically just do whatever they wanted with that opening case, and so I can understand it, kind of like Bogo in the first movie. It's like you can understand where they're coming from, but Hogbottom, where she won me over, this won't be very surprising, but is that despite kind of just being like, all right, yeah, we're just taking orders right now from this Milton guy and doing what he says.
Oh,
that
when she hesitated to shoot Judy?
Yeah, she did not. She was not going to do it. And I'm like, there you are. Like, there's this, this character that there's more to you. It's not just Hogbottom's like, yeah, let's do it, bang.
It's not just the corrupt cop.
Yeah, there's more to Hogbottom. I appreciated that. I appreciate the shot still goes off, but I appreciate that it wasn't because Hogbottom took the shot. That was like, you know what? Yeah,
she needs to work on her trigger discipline, but keep her finger off the trigger if she's putting it down, but still.
Yeah. I appreciate
part of the comedy relief, the Zebros.
Oh, yeah. The Zebros were great.
And I really like how...
I love that it's even reflected in the script.
Yeah, also because we see the connection between them and Gazelle because they pushed aside one of her tiger dancers and she was mad about that. And when they were approaching the the parade, the festival at the Sahara, at the desert and everything, and Gazelle backed up Judy, and she let them get away, and when the zebra survived, and she was like, we meet again, zebras. Like, I love that.
Yeah.
I really like we got to see a bit of attitude of her.
We got to see a bit more Gazelle characterization, where in the first movie we saw that she is very much an activist. We got to see in this one, she is not afraid to get her hands dirty.
Yeah, especially because of her team.
And, I mean, technically this means Shakira beat CM Punk and Roman Reigns at wrestling. So, I wonder if she'll make an appearance at any of their matches. That would be hilarious.
That would be fun, yes.
I could see her doing it.
Well,
she seems like the type who would just show up.
If she does, she needs to come up with her Gazelle outfit.
Oh, she takes every opportunity to cosplay Gazelle she can.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, also talking about Shakira, Zoo.
Oh, such a good song.
It's very, very catchy, and it's really what I would expect of Shakira to produce. And maybe this was also a bit of wishful thinking from my part. Like, remember when the official music video was released, when we get to see her performing the song, but also we get to see a little bit of scenes from the movie of the characters dancing and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that?
There is.
Yeah, we see
sorry, go ahead.
we see the switch between Gazelle performing the song, Shakira singing it, but also see the characters dancing around and everything.
Mm-hmm.
We don't see it on the actual music video. We don't see this actually, what I'm talking about. After knowing the lyrics and everything, and knowing that there's a bit of Spanish in the song, I'm like, oh, that's so good, because it is actually canon, because we hear Gazelle speaking Spanish on the original Zootopia at the credits. So, like, I'm glad they included that in the song. And once I got to more know context of the song and everything, and I was like, that little bit part of Spanish, especially the one line that says, well, I'll say it in English, that I'll go to the moon and back. And I was like, that spits in Spanish. I was like, I was hoping, well, before the movie was released and I went to see it in theaters, I was like, it would be really cool if we get to see the close-up on Judy and Nick when she says that line. And they did.
That's exactly it.
And they did. And I was like, I'm so happy they made a close-up on them, because this line is everything. Is like, this is them.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. Which is funny, because apparently it was produced entirely separately from the script, but Jared was just like, yes, 100% yes.
It totally fits.
Yes. And I will say, every single time I have watched it, I have just gone on, like, I've had to pump my arms at, like, this exact moment, like, when they go through the Tundra Town weather wall.
Yep.
And it goes boom.
Yep. It's it's so good. It's just like, yes, boom. No, the intro sequence is so
good.
So good. With again, just Judy looking at Nick with that big smile. Nick can't keep it together. He's trying. He's just like, I can't do it.
Yeah.
It's a really good.
Okay, so
sequence.
Question for you, having been to see so many audiences, how many kids started just dancing after, like, in the end credits?
End credits, it has been, I want to say fairly common, but I should explain what that means. Having been there or been to see it over 40 times, I've seen my fair share, and it's not just the kids. Like the parents will sometimes be like, yeah, I'm dancing with the kids, maybe to encourage it.
The kids always started,
but I mean, I'm dancing. I'm up there. Yeah. Everyone's staring at me. I'm bouncing off the floor, going, yeah. No, it's fairly with the showings that I've been to that do have like a predominant amount of kids. It's not unusual to see that at the end where they're dancing. So
yeah,
Yeah. And then I think the better version of the song is the credit version of
yeah, because
Yes.
it's got all the extra layers and such.
the bit where the marching band kicks in. I'm just like, I can't contain it.
It sounds very cool, yes.
Someone's like, it's the cowbell that does it. I'm like, yeah, whatever it is. And I've said this before. I know Andy's seen it, where I am so hoping, and I don't know how. I don't even know, like, because initially I made a tweet about this, and I'm like, I hope that what I was saying was conveyed of, I hope to legally be able to someday have the full soundtrack available to us, and you know, including that like version of the song. There's a lot, like, we got a lot with the soundtrack, but there's still
a little bit
decent amount in there. Like, for example, the music that plays, you know, at the end of the movie, prior to Zoo, is, you know, you have Judy and Nick, and as it transitions from them, us observing the snake party, it then, you know, gets to where, you know, Judy gets the hug from Gary's family, and the music transitions to a theme from the first movie between Judy and Nick, but in the soundtrack version of it, we don't have that, and that bit hits me hard watching the movie, and I'm like, dang it. I'm like, oh. So I'm hoping they do at some point release like an extended version of the soundtrack, or somehow, some way. Again, it's oftentimes referred to as like recording sessions or full soundtrack of the movie does become available. Because it's there's just so much in there that I would love to be able to just listen to while working. It's so good.
Yeah,
Agreed.
also big shout out to Michael Giacchino for the score he made for the movie. Pretty much all the score he does
is so
is
good.
pretty incredible, and something that I really adore, like going a little back with Pixar, for instance. Like, I love what he did with Incredibles, but also because I'm Mexican, I watched Coco, and to listen into the opening for the movie, the Walt Disney theme will be basically Wish Upon the Star, but in mariachi style. I was like, I love this. It sounds so cool.
Whereas this one, it's just right off the riff is just the hustle theme.
Exactly. I was like, oh, we're starting right away with the whole music for the movie. That I'm loving this. Yes.
Yeah.
Like, it feels such a buddy cop, like, from the start.
It does.
Agreed.
Okay.
Oh,
you were going
Sorry.
somewhere. Let's hear where you're going, Andy.
I am going to say that I am looking at the clock, and
Almost 2 hours?
No clock.
You did have a deadline, right?
Oh,
So-
I do, yeah. But
which sucks. We could literally talk about this for 10
what's
plus hours.
What's good is I feel like we're hitting a lot of the key moments. There's a few that I want to bring up here.
Go ahead.
We're going out of order, certainly.
Yeah.
But just before
True.
Order to the wind, whatever.
Right. But just before Zoo. So I guess just to kind of walk through the plot from where we kind of left off. You know, they go through the therapy sessions, got some good moments, get some good laughs from the audience, and then we work past them, kind of walking out of the police station. There's a little bit of a few more moments that happen there, and you know, Judy hands over this partner book, and you know, starts, you know, we get to learn a little bit more of our plot begins to build. We get to see them walking through the city, doing a little bit of traveling, but
Nick catches a ride on a garbage truck.
Yeah, so Nick's apartment scene, to me, is there's something in there that I feel like is one of the, again, as somebody who ships the heck out of Judy and Nick and has so for almost 10 years now, there's a bit in there that I'm like, this feels like the creators talking to me. This feels like Judy talking to it. This feels like them saying, like, just hold on. Because Judy shows up at Nick's front door and, is trying to be like, hey, if there's a thing at the gala and we're not there, we're not doing our job.
Yikes,
Nick's trying to
never invite me over.
Yeah. But it's the bit. There's a line in here where Judy, is like, hey, we're gonna go to the gala, snoop around. If we don't find anything, then we bail. And then she says to Nick, and you just look at her eyes, and the line that she delivers is, "But if I'm right, nobody will question whether you and I belong together again." And I'm like, that is not then we'll be police partner. That to me is so much more.
Yes.
Like I said, that feels like Jared saying, let me show everybody in this sequel why when we get to the next step in the third movie, no one's going to be like, but are they? Like, I don't, every time I see that, I almost get borderline choked up. I'm like, that line means something.
100% agree.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And I love it every time I hear it. It.
Yes.
She wants so badly to prove that they are great partners.
That they
in every
together.
sense of the word.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That they are good police partners, that they are good friend partners, that they are good life partners.
That they...
Well, it was already established from directors. They have already said it. They're soulmates.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, that's what Jared told me in Dynasty. Like, he sees them as soulmates. And it's like, you know what? I've never been much of a fan of the soulmates argument, like the idea of soulmates, but you make a compelling case.
Again, for me, I love that's where they're at right now. Mm-hmm. Like the soulmate still, for me, it's like I'm still looking for that next step of, because I think part of it is that there's still a lot of the argument of like, the best
they're
friends.
Just friends.
They're best, yeah. But they're friends.
The best relationships are built on friendship.
That's why I'm like, I don't see where people are like, no, they shouldn't do it. It's the shouldn't do it. And granted, I think it is more of a loud minority that I see this from. But there might be people watching that are like, how dare you question me? But to me, it's when I see people say like, oh, but they're so good as friends, I'd hate to see them become romantic. And I'm like, I think people, if you go and watch this movie, and I've done this specifically with this in mind, where if you watch it with the assumption that they're actually already married, like, just observe it from that, it actually is like, outside of a few bits, it almost entirely works. And I'm like, there's nothing that says that if they are romantically connected, that they're, not just friends, but, lovers, if you will, that their entire dynamic changes. I can speak from experience. I when I got into my relationship with my wife and later when we got married, we didn't change because it's like, oh, now we're romantic. Like, there's things that change, but you still love the person. Like, you fell in love with the person. And you don't look and say, I want your personality to change. I want you to... It's like that. No, that's the person that you fell in love with. And so I think too many people are like, oh, but then they're going to be so uninteresting. It's like they're still going to banter. Judy's still going to roll her eyes at Nick. She's still going to be like, that joke sucked. Nick's still gonna tease her about that. It's like that doesn't go away. Right now you have the tension, and we got to really enjoy that from the first and second movie. But I feel like the natural progression here. And again, this is me pleading to the gods of cinema that it does go to that next step, because it opens up a venue where now we get to see them in a new situation, but it's still Judy, it's still Nick, it's still that fox that's growing from the guy that we saw in Zootopia 1, and Judy, who's still learning from Zootopia 1, and we got to see that fantastic progression through the second movie. But I'm like, oh man, like there's a lot of stuff that they can work with on that level for a Zootopia 3. And ideal, like if I'm like, oh, what would I love to see? First off, I'm someone who hopes that it doesn't stop at 3.
Yeah.
I
will give a caveat to that. I hope that it continues beyond a third, but I don't want them to just be pumping them out.
But that's an obvious statement, Andy. Like I've seen people say that, and I'm like, duh! Like, of course we're not saying I want 20 movies and they could be absolute crap. Like, of course, like, the sequel, right? We all said, oh man.
I just worry because I know business people and they see numbers and they want as little time in between as possible, and I'm like, no, let them cook.
But Disney has a model of this is how long it takes us to make a movie. This is, and if they have it
as
in
long
their
as
mind,
they stick to that, I am good with it. If
they say, look, we are going to make 5, like let's say, because the reality here is that there is going to be, like Bateman's 56. So I feel like if they're going to do this where they want to do multiple sequels after 2, they need to start putting that in the schedule, because the reality is that people are going to eventually retire, and everyone gets older. Like time is not endless, but with, like, I feel like if they have it set where they're like, okay, we're going to commit to doing, let's say 5, like, I know it's been rumored already, but let's pretend that they do say, okay, we're locking it in that we're going to do 5. If they know that, they can schedule it out. They can say, this is when we're doing each one. And they're going to have that already in the pipeline. Like Zootopia 3 has clearly already been in the works in some form or fashion before Zootopia 2 ended. They're already ahead of the game for Zootopia 3.
Definitely.
But yeah, because I've seen people who are like, I don't want more than 3 because then it'll just start being bad. And I'm like, that's not how it works. It's not just automatically bad. If there's 5 because someone like Jared says, I've got 5 stories that I can tell, then I say, give me those 5. I want to see what you have here. And
100%.
because Jared is in the position that he's in, I feel like that even bodes even better.
Yes.
So
him being made chief creative officer of the studio is probably one of the best pieces of news we can have for this whole franchise.
And I think Disney's learned some harsh lessons in the last couple of years. Last I'll say on this. A was with Wish. Wish was a movie that they had a story, they had a direction, and because it was the 100th movie, Disney higher up said, okay, now we're going to get involved, and you should do this, and you should add this, and put this in, don't do that, don't do this. And the movie just did terrible. Terrible. And then because it did terrible, the studio freaked out and said, we need money. Moana 2 is now a movie. And they made the same mistake by doing the Rush thing where they went, okay, quick, just piece this together. And did it make money? Yes. But also it's, there is a detriment to that where if you put out something where it's not quality. I'm hoping that when it came to Zootopia 2, they said, stand back. Let us cook. I want them to cook. I want them to take the time they need for it, but it doesn't mean that I only want to see 3. If we only get 3, it changes what I hope we get between Judy and Nick's relationship. If we get 5, it puts me in a spot where I'm like, I want it to continue to slow burn. I want them to, like, let's say that we know we get 5. 3 to me would be the one where it's like, that's where hopefully, that you do get that potential.
Like they get together.
Where they get together. For me, again.
But the story continues.
Yes, as somebody who would love to see them kiss, that would be my hope that, in that movie, that would be, where this would happen. Where they would be like, no, we are in that next step. Like, let's see them get to that point where, is it Nick who's going to be able to muster the courage? We know that he's afraid. There's a reason, I think, that he's not just straight up saying, I love you in this movie, is because he's like, I still have walls that I have to break down. Where you have Judy, who's so headstrong, probably hasn't even really picked up. It seems like Nick came into Zootopia 2 and already knew that he has, like, a lot of people have interpreted this. I look at it, I see it, that this is a fox who's already fallen for Judy.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Judy, though, is still getting there with Nick, and by the end of the movie, that's when she's there.
1,000% there.
Yeah, so that's where I'm like, if we could get this fleshed out,
to the point where her neighbors are noticing.
Yeah,
yes,
exactly.
Finally.
Yes, I do know that there's people who are like, oh, if only they just yelled through the wall, just date him already. God, but
and keep in mind, it is literally the directors saying that.
Yep. What's next for you two? So I know that, like, I might have the blinders on with a lot of this stuff, but again, if I had to explain to anybody, I am passionate about Zootopia and Zootopia 2. I am insanely passionate about their relationship. Again, I don't know. I can't put it really into words why it means so much to me, but it does. And so that's kind of that hope that I have, where if we can know that there are more movies down the line, like, I feel like 5 would be my sweet spot, where I'd be like, amazing, we actually got 5 movies, and wrap it up on that 5th one, because again, at that point, you're probably going to be talking about, well, someone else is going to have to start playing Nick Wilde. In the reality,
that, or like
personally,
some nonsense AI, blah blah blah. I don't want to hear that. I don't want that to go that route, but that you never know. But I will say, I do hope that they throw a TV show in that.
That's what I'm gonna say. I would love to have an animated series. I would love Zootopia 99, because an animated series will let us explore other characters as well. I would like to know more about the rest of the officers at the CPD. I would like to also know more about the citizens. What else?
And as somebody,
give me all of it. I want all of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. 6. The opposite of 6 seasons in a movie. 6 movies is a season.
Kinda.
And but like, as I was a fan of Tangled the series as well. Like, that was also one from a Byron Howard movie. So
even though he didn't work
really
on the
did
series,
a great job of fleshing out the world, the characters, the relationships, like giving us all of that slow burn detail.
Yeah, the only thing is that Byron, as long as I know, he didn't work on the Tangled series, unfortunately.
No, but they greenlit it with him, and like, he gave his blessing to it.
No, I very much am in the boat where if I had to choose one or the other, I would take the movies.
Agreed.
But if I could get both, I absolutely would be like, keep it coming. Zootopia Plus, I thought was great. That was a lot of fun.
You know
why? It was good, but if you watch our last episode, we had some concerns.
Yeah, that's the reason why I don't want more than 3 movies, is because I'm scared that they're gonna turn it like Toy Story, and I really don't want that. Like, the Toy Story trilogy is perfect as it is. We didn't need the 4th movie. Which is fine, but it was built to end on 30.
Yes, I see both your points.
And I agree, though. I agree, because we had the same fear existed for the sequel. Like, oh my god, hopefully it's not bad.
Yeah.
That will exist for every sequel we get. But with Toy Story, 3 was... Toy Story,
it was meant to end at 3.
That was great. Yes. That's why I'm saying, if they know now that they're already going to do the 5 movie, which we don't have confirmed,
then they can pace it and plan it and do it right.
Then 5 is where we have that set, it's going to end here type thing. I'm not saying, but like, again, this is all my opinion. And
speculation at this point.
Your guys' opinions are just as valid as mine. I just, that's where I get it. It's because I see people saying it so much where they're like, oh no, they're gonna milk it. Oh no, they're gonna do this. And it's like, yes, but they can still have the artistic integrity with it that it can still be good. Like,
it's a matter of trusting the people making it versus the company producing it.
Right. Which I think a lot of us have had to juggle that. I trust the people.
As long as we have Jared Bush and Byron Howard on the production, I think we're good. Because that's the thing that failed at Toy Story 4. Like, almost nobody from the original team was on Toy Story 4.
Yeah. And so I know, okay, we're almost out of time. You've got to go see it for the 19th time and can get all of this again. But one last question I had. And if there was anything you could change about it, what would it be?
The movie?
Zootopia 2. Yep.
God.
I will say for me, just as an example, I would say that like they should pay a little closer attention to the map and the geography that they've established.
You and that map, Andy.
I draw maps. I've made maps for books and stuff. Like, I love maps.
I think everybody, including Jared, knows that by now. They're like, man, this guy really wants this map. Man.
Marsh Market. How are they incorporating How are they expanding Tundra Town to Marsh Market? It's on the other side of the city.
Oh man, I'm trying to think of a borderline serious answer for this.
I think I have. Well, I'm sorry.
You go.
I will say that I know they try to make balance everything over the course of the movie. What I would love to see more is to tackle more a next version to reptiles.
That was something that we didn't get to.
I want that to be more explored, but I understand that they had to focus more on his ups and downs with Judy. I understand that. I agree how they developed it and everything, but I would have loved to see more of his. Why was his prejudice with reptiles? Because he got over it very quickly, apparently, after the whole apology confession thing with Judy. After that. I will say
that is one area that Judy kind of messed up as well, because he confessed his aversion to reptiles and she immediately started like joking on him for it and messing with him for it. And then afterwards, when she's like, "Why won't you open up?" He's like, "I will save that for my therapy animal."
I think that I'm gonna throw in my wife, she mentioned that she wished that we got a little more Gary.
That's true, yes.
Yeah, you know what? Fair. For how much he was featured in the promotional material, he did not get as much screen time as I was expecting.
That made me a bit sad, a little.
I'm very much coming from somebody, again, I'm somebody who's seen this movie 46 times because I love it. And so for me to say, well, this should have changed, or that should have changed, I'm going to say there's one bit in the movie, and I have convinced myself, I haven't convinced others, like my wife, but I have convinced myself that no, this is right, and it was intended, and there's no issue. But in the bit where Judy she finds the news clippings and she's kind of talking to herself before Nick enters the room. She's talking about how, basically how the Linksleys will displace these neighborhoods. And she says a line where she says, this is what they do. And the animation of Judy almost looks like she's saying something different. Like she maybe wasn't, and it's a fairly close-up shot of her, and it almost looks like I almost read it like, at one point did she say this is who they are as opposed to this is what they do? Now again, I have wired my brain to accept that no, she is saying this is that like everything is right and fine and I'm overthinking it. But my wife has not subscribed to this yet. But they will at times take animation, and sometimes they'll change a line. And the animation's already done, and they'll have the voice actors come in and try to, basically say it in a way that it looks like this is what's being said. I don't even, ADR. I have no confirmation that this is an error or that there's anything wrong. It's just the fact that I've had to sit there and convince myself in the first place of it that I'm like, okay, if it was just more clear that isn't what happened, then I would be like, now it's all perfect. But no, again, this is more of just like a laughing matter. I don't know that there's anything I would change. Again, as
it's completely valid, and mine is a total nitpick.
Oh,
yeah. Now, so go see it for a 47th time and enjoy.
Well, I was just gonna say, as a hopeless romantic that I will forever be, again, there is that part of me that's like, oh, I wouldn't have minded getting a little more confirmation. But I'm good where they're at right now because they are a growing relationship. It is a slow burn. And we'll see what Zootopia 3 gives us. But for now, we have Zootopia 2 to enjoy. I'm gonna continue to watch it. I have gotten emotional every time that I have seen this movie. Every time I have at least teared up, but I have practically cried every time I've watched this movie. And I did not believe that was a possibility. That was something I probably I actually think I cried the least during the wrap party. And I think it's because, again, I was sitting there processing what was happening as it was happening. And I was so focused on like, is this good? Is this good? Is this good? That once I got to go back and watch it and be like, I thought it was good. Oh my God, the critics are thinking it's good. Oh my God, everyone's thinking it's good. Okay. But
it's not just me. I'm not crazy.
Yeah, I keep getting emotional.
I mean, we clearly are crazy. We're talking about, like, we've been talking about it for a decade, but
no, it's just, again, I hope that, if anybody watching this knows anyone that's just on the fence about getting it, like, talk them into seeing this movie. If you've only seen it once, go see it again. There's so much going on in the details of this movie. I know that, Andy, you joke like, oh, you should catalog each time you see something new. But, like, there's, like, I noticed that...
genuinely, every time I watch the first one, I notice something new.
Yeah.
And this one as well. Like, genuinely, like...
And I think this one...
I was being completely serious there.
Like, something I share, for instance, on CNN, and when I read it on Twitter, was like, hey, I didn't even figure that up until now that I just read it. Remember that scene when we see Doc on the first movie that... Well, Bellwether's calling him. It's like, cheetah in Sahara Square. Got it. And I never thought who would that memo would be. And somebody at Twitter pointed out, asked Jareth, was Doug gonna target Clawhauser? And he confirmed it, like, yes, it was going to be him. And I was like, hey, I didn't even think about that. I didn't think that Clawhauser will be a target.
All these years later.
Yes. It never went through my mind.
This is going to be... These two movies, I think, are going to be analyzed to oblivion, and we are never going to notice everything. And I am here for it.
That was so clever that even though we never got to know exactly on the movie who was it going to be, but I was like, yeah, because it would be heartbreaking to know that Clawhauser, one of the sweetest characters in the movie, was going to be a target. Like, no. That will have been heartbreaking.
I want to add one last note. And this is one of those notes where I think a lot of people have already picked up on it, but for those that haven't, again, the relationship building that we get with Judy and Nick is fantastic in this movie. It's more than I ever thought that I could want or could get.
And it's the core of the movie.
Yeah, and I love the angst. I love watching my characters go through this stuff. I love that. I mean, again, I love Judy Hopps, and I loved seeing her in that moment of like, oh my god, like she's dying, but all she could think about is Nick's safety. It's like, oh, but that whole sequence from the time that Judy gets, God, honestly, almost from the time that she almost gets shot to them confessing to each other.
Well, stabbed.
The fact that because a lot of people pointed out, they're like, Nick was willing to die for Judy. That's insane. I don't know how many people realize that Judy was also willing to die for Nick.
Yeah, she just threw herself off there with no confirmation that Gary was even following.
Yeah. Let's just say that there is, or maybe, multiple versions of that scene that were put together, pacing-wise, timing-wise. There are very clear-cut, and I hope that this is stuff that we get to actually see someday, but it is clear-cut that Judy jumped off of that ledge with no knowledge that Gary was going to be there.
Yeah,
she jumped
definitely
and grabbed it. And like I said, a lot of
was Nick.
Yeah, that was 100%. And I love that in the span of 45 seconds, they both sacrificed themselves for each other. I'm like, that is what we call absolute cinema, ladies and gentlemen. Woo!
I also felt that that's a great callback to the chase scene from the beginning, where Judy jumps onto the other truck and Nick tries to grab her and he doesn't accomplish it. Like she just go over it. And in this case, they do grab each other's paw. I really love that.
Yep.
So good. So good. I'm so happy. I'm a happy guy.
Yes. And we could talk about this for many, many more hours, but we have been recording for 2 hours at this point. This is going to be a long episode. I'm sorry, guys.
But it's going to be less than 2 hours when the finished version.
Probably not much less than 2 hours. Anyway, this is going to be a long episode. We've been recording for about 2 hours at this point. So if you've made it this far, thank you so much for listening. Race, thank you so much for coming on and rambling with us about Zootopia 2. Like, we could talk about this for hours and hours and hours, and I don't think we'd ever run out of stuff to say.
Yep, definitely. I think you're right.
You're always welcome back if you want to ramble about it more.
Well, thanks again for having me. Appreciate both of you.
Yeah, it was
Appreciate
really fun.
you too.
Thank you.
Now go see it another dozen times before the episode releases.
I'm on my way, guys. Gonna make a tweet here in a second.
And also,
right.
You in the audience, for those who are listening or watching this episode, if Zootopia 2 is still on theaters on your local cinema, go and watch it. If you haven't done it, or if you already did it, go and watch it again.
Yeah.
And if you're watching this in the future, go watch it in another format.
On Disney Plus.
Just go watch it.
Yeah.
Just go watch it.
Let's make Zootopia 2
and
the
then
most
go watch
viewed.
it again.
Let's make Zootopia 2 the most viewed Disney film on Disney Plus on 2026. Let's go.
Agreed.
Let's make sure that there's demand for the physical media releases so that we can have another person do like a collection of 100 copies.
Yeah. I would love to have Zootopia 2 on DVD.
Skull was a great guest.
Yes.
Let's have him back on for 100 copies of Zootopia 2.
Yes.
Show them that there's demand. Show them that there's like demand for 5 movies.
Please.
See, you're speaking
go
my
see
language.
it.
Yeah.
Go see it.
Get us those 5 movies, guys. Come on.
Anyways, thank you all so much. Again, this is all because of your support over on Patreon, patreon.com/ZNN. Thank you all so much for listening. Till next time, I'm Andy Lagopus.
And I'm PinkStar.
And I'm AC Racebest.
Thank you for coming on, and boom.
Okay, ready?
Okay, yep, we're rolling.